Okay, what is up, guys? My name is Christian, otherwise known as Hybrid Fork, and it's been a little while. It's been over a month. I've been kind of busy, work, blah blah blah, life catches up with you. So essentially, what I wanted to do today was I wanted to cover. I'm not reviewing a specific product, although I will be kind of reviewing a product I got over the Christmas period, which I've had to replace already. Fucking wonderful. I'm going to be discussing the difference between drippers and tanks in terms of my experiences with both. Something else I also quickly need to touch on right now. My last two videos, I would love to know why the fuck it's done this, but it recorded all the footage. All the footage was there. I watched it all back. It was all there. When I uploaded it to YouTube, it just glitched. I would take the videos down, but I really can't be bothered, and they are there now. I would re-record them, but that takes too long, and you guys have seen most of it anyway, so there's no point. So, first things first, the tank and the I was comparing two for today. I would compare something new, but I need to change the coil out in it, and it's fucking pissing juice everywhere. I'm going to be using my old standby, which is my favourite sub-ohm tank. I fucking love this thing. It's the TFV4. And I'm comparing it to the Royal Hunter Mini, which is a tiny little flavour atomizer, which is from Council of Vapor. So I'm going to hit you. This is a what have I got in this? It's a dual 24 gauge, 8 wrap, 3.5 mil. Yeah, dual 24 gauge, eight to 9 wraps, around a 3.5 mil using a Coil Master kit. Comes out at 0.46. These coils are fucking huge. Like, the ramp up time of them is hilarious. I'm probably running it at 90 watts. It's giving me 6.43 volts. Nice. Fantastic vape, this. TFV4. With no batteries in it. Starting wonderfully. So, I still use this thing pretty much every single day. The current coil that's in this is a quad, which is, I want to say, over a month old. And it still works. It still gives me flavour. It still gives me shat tons of vapour. I do not get these coils. This tank is incredible. Ooh, cold. Sorry. So, start with the tanks. Easiest thing, and I'll start with this one specifically. It's ridiculous. It's massive. The coils are stupid. The coils are expensive. But I fucking love this thing. The flavour I get off of this is very, very, very comparable to a dripper. For the pure fact of I can run this thing up 110, 120 watts. It's hot, dense, really flavourful vapour. I've had one leaking issue. And basically, anyone who doesn't know, the top fill on this apparently causes some imbalance in the vacuum inside the tank. So what you want to do is, when you're putting it together, really crank the fucker together, and I mean really, like, you have to get it so that it is nearly impossible for you to unscrew it again. So good luck unscrewing it again, as I found out when I wanted to replace coils. But yeah, I had this thing completely empty juice out all over this mod. I'm surprised it still fucking works, to be honest, because I've heard many bad things about this getting juice on it. So, pros of a tank. Well, maybe not this tank. Pros of a tank is you don't have to drip constantly. You have a nice big supply of juice. This is 5 ml tank. Coils, you don't have to build any coils. You don't have to wick any coils. You don't have to dry fire anything. All you have to do is saturate your coil, pop it in, fill the tank, vape, and go. It is the most simplistic way of vaping possible. And I still love it. I still do it every single day. I still use my tanks every single day, and I still enjoy them. I still enjoy most of them. I've got the new the tank I'm going to cover at some point. Once I've changed the coil out, once I've got juice in it, and blah blah blah. It's the Heracles Plus. Fucking fantastic tank. If it didn't leak so fucking much, Jesus, leaky. Everything is leaky at this point, and it's really starting to annoy me. Top fill everywhere. I like top fill, don't get me wrong, it's fucking convenient, especially with this, when the fucking 510 on this is fucked. But if someone could make one that doesn't leak everywhere, it would be wonderful. Please. This doesn't leak anymore. But yeah. So tanks, cons of a tank. You do not get nearly as pure flavour as you do out of a dripper, but this is pretty fucking close. The issue is you've got a chimney, and the coils, the way the coils are wrapped, the cotton is around them instead of inside them, and blah blah blah. You can't push wattage to them. Essentially, you can't push shat loads of wattage into them. For a 0.15, these coils are supposed to be 0.15. You could probably push about 130, 140 watts to this comfortably with a dripper. With this, over 120, it starts getting burnt. They say 140 watts, you can't really push 140 watts to this thing. And then you've got the bitch of cleaning the fuckers. Some of these don't come apart. The Triton version 1 doesn't come apart. Not very much, at least. Some of them can be really, really difficult to take apart. Your Atlantises, when you first get Atlantis tanks, they're a cunt to get apart without breaking the glass. Yeah. Tanks are wonderful, but they do have their cons. So now, this glorious dripper. I picked this up from Evolution Vaping. Excellent website, especially if you guys like cheap juice. 120 mils of Cloud Chasers juice for 30 quid. Very cheap, very good. And their flavours are all fantastic. They're all like, they're really wide range of flavours. So this is, essentially, it's a normal 3-post deck. It's got nice little spit back. If you can see that, yeah, the drip tip has spit back prevention. Obviously, with it being a short atomizer, you're going to get juice firing straight into your mouth. O-rings on it are nice and strong. Not so strong as my first one. And I'll explain what happened to my first one right now, actually, on that note. So essentially, this is an IPv3 Li, which is the upgraded IPv3. Wonderful mod. I was fucking loving it until I realised that my touch sensor, I've deactivated now because I didn't know you could deactivate the fucker. I should have checked the manual. My touch sensor is a bit glitchy. Sometimes when you catch it, it will fire the mod for 10 seconds straight. Like the whole time the mod will fire till it cuts itself off. Now, in a tank, that's not so bad. It just means you just need to wait for the tank to cool down a bit, and then you can vape it again, and it'll probably be really flavourful if you've not vaped it. With the dripper, that is fucking dangerous, because obviously the drippers are, they have, you take your coils, those little, those, I say little, mine are pretty fucking beefy, your coils, you whip cotton through them, and as long as the cotton stays wet, the coils will not get overly hot, they won't glow. Now, when your mod fires for 10 seconds constantly, the fucker goes dry very quickly. And then the coils get really, 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 really hot. I don't know, do I have it on hand? It's over there. No. Essentially what happened is it happened to me 3 times. It happened once, and then it didn't happen again. And the only way for me to stop doing it would be to pop the batteries out, because of the fucking battery door on this thing being so damn strong. That was difficult. It was to just unscrew it, and because it's a spring-loaded pin, it's still firing while you're trying to unscrew it, and the atomizer gets really hot. So essentially what happened is the coils glowed, they got really, really hot, and it happened twice on a night out, and then it stopped working. It stopped reading resistance on this. At first I thought it was this. I thought this was just fucked, which worried me, because this was a lot more expensive than this one. This is £25. This is 80. Which, as someone who doesn't get products for free to review, is pain. Now, when they glowed hot, obviously, they glow very, 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 very hot. Essentially what happened was that they melted the insulator on the negative post. Yeah. Or positive post. The center post, essentially. The center post has peak insulator. It melted the insulator and it wouldn't read. Funny thing is, it dry fired. I could dry fire coils on it. As soon as you put juice in it, it just went nope. Atomizer's not there. What the fuck are you saying? So yeah, I would have been a lot more upset if it had been something like a Derringer or something really expensive. But it was a £25 dripper. And this dripper for £25 is fucking fantastic. You also get an absolute cunt load of airflow for the size. Yeah. So, pros and cons of drippers, now that I've got all that shit out of the way. Pros. Flavor is absolutely intense. Flavor is fucking wonderful off of these things. Like, I'm noticing flavors in juices I didn't even know was there. I had that beard, the number 51 beard vape, which everyone was telling me was chocolate custard, and I was like, I just taste custard because I'm just vaping it out of a tank. Tanks will mute the flavor of your juice very, very, very heavily. These, you get literally pure vapor from the coil straight to your mouth, into your mouth hole. So flavor is fantastic. Performance is insane. Like, performance of these things is stupid considering the size. Like, everyone looks at me like, what the fuck is that he's doing? And then I blow out a huge cloud in the lot. It's hilarious. So you can also build. You can build to your own resistance. You have every opportunity to build to anything you want. You can build, if you want to build a really high resistance coil to save your battery life, then you can. If you want to build a really, really low one and put it on a mech, because you can't put anything below like 0.1 on most mods. I think the lowest mod is the Twisted Messes mod, which fires down to 0.05. I don't know anyone that builds that low and uses regulated devices, legitimately. You can build your own coils, you can wick it any way you want. Wire is cheap. Wire is cheap as fuck. Cotton is cheap as fuck if you find the right place. Basically, rebuilding materials are cheap. And the coiling kit, I picked up the Core Master version 2 coiling kit, which is like the little carry case box thing, which comes with like ceramic tweezers, like 2 different types of screws, two different types of screw heads, the coiling kit itself, an ohms reader for like £35. It's a fucking great kit. I recommend it if you're new, because if you don't have access to a lot of the stuff like I do, like my dad has a lot of tools, but I don't want to be sat there bugging him for his tools every time I want to rebuild. It's wonderful. So now to cons. These are very subjective. If you don't mind doing this, it's absolutely fine. If you don't mind having to pop the top off of your dripper, opening your bottle of juice, and dripping juice from there. This is a dripper, obviously, so you do have to drip juice periodically. It's fine. If you're out and about, walking about, doing that without dropping anything is difficult. So yeah, dripping constantly is a bit of a pain, but you do get used to it. Building, I can see without that, with the coiling kit, building can probably be a bit of a pain as well. Having to rebuild every so often. If your wire shorts, if your screws snap your leads. Luckily enough, this thing has grub screws. I don't know if you'll be able to see. They're not Phillips head. They're little grub screws. They need an Allen key, essentially. They literally never snap leads. Getting hold of wire sometimes can be fairly difficult. Getting hold of cotton can be fairly difficult. They're still cheap, but you have to go to the right place. Essentially, you can't literally go down to Tesco to pick up some cotton buds and use those. That don't work. It has to be organic Japanese cotton. Organic Japanese cotton is the best cotton. Convenience. Tanks are convenient. These are just fantastic. Like, absolutely fantastic. I can't recommend. Since I picked up this dripper, I said the second one, I got this second one yesterday, and I just transferred the build I had in my other one into this one. So like I said, I dry fired it. I rebuilt it because I thought there was an issue with the coil. I hadn't obviously seen the insulator at the bottom melted. So when I took the coil out, I was like, oh, that could be it. So I put a build in, dry fired it. Dry fired fine. Dry fired absolutely fine. As soon as I wicked it and put juice in it, it went nope. Oh well. But yeah, these I still recommend tanks. Tanks are still wonderful, especially if you're new, and especially if you're just really fucking lazy. Tanks turn you into a lazy cunt. So yeah, tanks versus drippers. Drippers are invariably better, but some people are just tank people. I'm kind of a tank person, but whatever. So this has been Christian. I hope you guys have learned something today. If not, then I've rambled for 15 minutes for no reason. This has been Christian. Otherwise known as Time to Fork. Signing out.